everybody. Thank you so much for joining me here. This is actually not the warehouse, as you might notice. This is my house where we've set up a yoga studio slash video taping room for the yoga videos. So as usual, there are always things that happen that we don't have control over. We do have our dog here today, so she may wander into the shot here and there, but we allow that because usually she'll just fall asleep after a while. So thank you for joining me. My name is Trisha Schwaba. I am the yoga teacher at the warehouse. This is being live fed on that warehouse Facebook page, as you all probably know. So we will get started in just a moment. Just a reminder, I'm your guide for the class, but you are a better guide. You know your body better than anyone else. So don't hesitate if something's bothering you or you have any discomfort to back out of the pose gently, come back to center into either Shavasana or a seated position, or just in mountain pose like I am here. Breathe deeply and bring yourself back to neutral. So the other thing is, the warehouse is a nonprofit, so while we're offering this class for free, if you are so inclined and you can possibly make a donation, that would be lovely. There is a donate button on the page. So we're appreciative of any and all donations at all times. I hope you're doing well at this very chaotic time in the world. So yoga is a great way to bring it back to center and get yourself into the moment. So let's begin. We're going to start in a comfortable seated position. And I do mean comfortable, so make yourself comfortable. Sitting with my legs crossed is not my most comfortable position. I do it, but this is a better way for me to start, so I want you to find the best position for you. And you can go ahead and face the front of your mat. I'll just turn sideways while we start, just so you can see me head on. So I'll be either facing the long end or the front of the mat. All right? So bring your focus to the breath. We're going to take about a minute here to breathe, bringing yourself into center, letting go of anything that happened before class, anything that may or may not happen after the class. Bring it into center and focus on the breath. Deep inhales, complete exhales. Let the shoulders sink down, the scapula melt down the back. Crown is lifted to the heavens. Root is sinking into the earth. That is going to form the heart line, that main line of energy that we want to keep extended if we can for most of the class. It will bend, it will spiral, it will arc, but it should not really ever fracture, right? So we want to keep it lifted, root sinking in, crown lifting up, and enjoy your breath as we begin the class. If it helps, you can close your eyes. Remembering you can always or usually exhale a little bit longer than you think you can. So try and really press all of the air out of the lungs on the exhales. That will leave room for more fresh oxygen to come in. On the next exhale, allow your chin to fall forward towards the chest, head bowing forward. Feeling a stretch in the back of the neck, maybe down into the shoulder blades. Next inhale, lifting the head back up, taking a look to one side. So rotation of the cervical spine, just seeing where it will go. Don't press it too much, just observe the range of motion. Through center, inhaling, exhale to the other side. Again, inhaling through center, exhaling to the opposite side. Through center, and one more time, switching sides. Coming back to center, bringing some random movements into the head and neck. Remember, trying not to shorten the back of the cervical muscles and the posterior cervical muscles. Keep the head bowing forward. Just while we're getting ready here, we don't want to compress that cervical spine. So just let the head move side to side, bowing forward. Random movements, asking yourself what would feel best. Coming back to center, we're going to take one hand down and take a side stretch. So laterally flexing the spine. Let's take that extended arm and rotate that little finger down. So a little rotation of the wrist here. And then coming back through center. Inhale. Exhale into that side stretch again. Lateral flexion. Little finger rotates down. Keeping the chest lifted. And let's take that through center again, inhaling and exhaling into the stretch. And again. And coming through center this time, we'll take a rotation to the side. So rotation of the spine extends, it flexes, it laterally flexes to each side, and it rotates to each side. So many of the poses are about taking the spine through the range of motion, coming through center to the other side. As we randomly go through these movements throughout the day, so when we do it with intention on the mat, it helps our muscle memory. Let's do that one more time. Come through center, rotating to the side. And one more time. Nice. Coming through center, inhaling the arms up, palms face behind you, dropping the palms to the shoulder blades. Lifting through the chest, the crown. Take those elbows up, feel the stretch in the triceps. So inhale. On the exhale, taking this position, howling out through the center, allowing the head and shoulders and elbows to bow forward. Inhaling back up. One more time. Exhale forward. Inhale back up. Take the prayer hands up high to the heart center. Interlace the fingers, press the palms forward. So stretching out the palms and the fingers. Great for tech hands like we all have these days. Inhaling the arms up, interlaced fingers stay. Exhale back down. And then bring it in and roll the wrists. Interlace again. Stretch it forward. Inhale the arms up. Exhale it back down. Bring them in. Roll the wrists. One more time. Palms forward. Lifting up high. Exhale back down. And one more time, bring it in and roll the wrists. Nice. Shake out the hands a bit. All right, let's change positions. Hands towards the front of the mat, opening the knees through tabletop position, taking the hips back, allowing the hairline to rest on the mat, arms reaching forward, so keep those elbows up, active arms here. Taking a deep breath in, and then allowing the forearms and elbows to relax down. Finding Balasana. So we're finding that child's pose. With my clock, sorry about that. So we're in child's pose. Let's come up onto the forearms, palms down, forearms down, hips lift towards the ceiling, and we're going to take some circular movements with the hips. So try and resist lifting the head like this. This time I want you to take the head and just let it relax down. We hold it up all day, so remember you want to let it relax when you can. Take the opposite way, the circles of the hips. Now some random side to side, front to back. Waking up the hips, the lower body, the lower energy centers. And then sinking back into child's pose, dropping the elbows down, reaching for the shoulder blades. So notice we did that up here with the body lifted. Now our elbows are down. We're reaching for the shoulder blades. Press those elbows in. Feel the triceps stretch. Hands come back down. Let's come up into tabletop, hands and knees. Remember, if you need an extra layer under your knees, that's fine. You don't want any pain in the joint here or in the bone. You know, the bone should feel pretty cushioned here. If not, grab an extra layer, and you can always double up the mat if you don't have an extra layer. Normally I use 2 mats, but I'm on carpeting here, so I don't need it. And we're going to take it into a tabletop position. Take that right leg back, flexed foot. So feeling that position first. Dropping the toe down, stretching the heel back. So we're taking that right heel back, palms are pressing evenly into the mat. That left leg can remain down for support. If you're feeling like you need more intensity, you can lift the knee up or even extend the leg back. We'll do this 3 times on each side. On an inhale, relax. And then stretch that right heel back. So that's first and foremost. The lifting of the other leg is optional. Inhale, release. And relax and press it back again. Remember, your practice, your poses, your body. So if something doesn't feel right, bring it back to center. And inhale, sink it back into child's pose. Arms come alongside the body. Roll the wrists, move the fingers, rock the hips. Coming back up into tabletop. So make sure your hands are at the front so you have room to stretch that leg back. Left leg back, flexed foot. Toes towards the earth mean neutral hip. That's what we want. Head in line with the spine. Dropping the toes down, pressing that left heel back. Right leg position of your choice. Inhale, relax. Exhale, stretch it back again. Inhale, relax. One more time, left side, stretching the left heel back. Knees come down, sink it back, bring it back to neutral each time. Roll the wrists, rock the hips, and breathe deeply. Don't forget to breathe. Arms reach back out, coming up through tabletop again. Just take the hips side to side a couple of times. Head and shoulders can go to the opposite side. Then coming back to center, we're going to take that right leg back again. We're going to take an inhale And on the exhale, bring your knee towards the forehead, pulling in the stomach. On the exhale, inhale it back. Exhale it forward. Inhale it out. Exhale it forward. This time extending it, taking the left arm, reaching forward. So right leg reaching back, left arm reaching forward, finding the balance. Hand down, knee down, sink back into child's pose, roll the wrists. Arms can come alongside the body. That changes the shoulder muscle position. Hands reach out, left leg reaches back. Inhale. On the exhale, bring the knee forward, pulling in the stomach. Knee towards the forehead. They won't touch. That's okay. Inhale, stretch it back. Exhale, bring it forward. Inhale, stretch back. Exhale, bring it forward. Inhale the leg out, right arm reaches forward. So you notice I'm looking down at the mat. That helps with my balance. As soon as I try and turn my head, I lose my balance. Hand down, knee down, tuck those toes under, sink it back into Balasana. Let the arms relax down, position of your choice. And then untuck the toes and take a breath. Coming back into tabletop, we're going to take that same extended leg position, left arm forward, right leg back. You can stay here. You want to go further, left arm circles alongside the body, right leg bends, flexed foot, flexed knee, reaching for or grabbing the foot. If you can't get it, just stop anywhere along the spectrum. If you have the foot, go ahead and kick it into the hand. And if it feels good, you can open the chest and the head to the left. Breathing into it. Releasing the leg, arm comes back forward. One breath. Hand down, knee down, right into the other side. Left leg reaches back. Right arm reaches forward. You can go further by bringing that arm alongside the body, bending the knee, reaching forward, grabbing the foot. If you have the foot, kicking it into the hand. And if you have that, maybe rotating to the right. Again, stopping anywhere along the spectrum. Releasing the leg. Arm circles forward. Hand down, knee down, and sink it back into child's pose. So take a couple of breaths in child's pose while I say that pose can be challenging because you can't always reach the foot. Really important that you stop anywhere along the spectrum. Once that struggle gets in, then we compromise our body and come out of alignment. That's not what we want to do. So we really want to keep it in a nice steady space. Add the intensity incrementally, right? Don't go too far and then everything comes out of alignment or we fall over or whatever. You just want to keep it in that zone as you practice. You kind of get to know where you're at, right? The more we practice, the more we know. So let's go into tabletop again. Tuck those toes under and lift into a downward facing dog. So hips are going to rise up. Keep the knees bent. And pedal out that down dog. And Marley appropriately comes into the shot when we're doing downward dog. Hello. And pedal out those feet. Coming up high on the ball mounds of the feet, bending the knees deeply, dropping the chest towards the thighs. So extended back here, right? Don't straighten the legs and round the back. Bend the knees and extend the back. And then paddle it out a couple more times. See where we're at. See where you're at today as you paddle out one heel at a time down towards the mat. And then let's drop both knees, sink back into child's pose or balasana, and roll the wrists. Coming back in to a little yoga ball here, right? Arms extend out again, coming into downward facing dog. Downward facing dog, paddle it out. If it ever gets too much for you, you drop the knees and go into an active puppy dog pose or balasana, child's pose. So paddle out, downward dog. Let's open the feet wide to the side, bend the knees. One of my favorite things to do, center that right hand, open everything to the left. Breathing into it. Knees, toes, hips, chest, head, all turning to the left. You want more intensity, you can straighten out those legs, but not necessary. Left hand down, extend it out into down dog. Open the feet, bend the knees. This time your left hand's gonna plant. Flat palm, please. And rotate to the right. Everything rotates. Open that right side up. Right hand goes down, pedal it out. This time we're gonna walk the feet towards the hands. Coming into a bent knee forward fold. Head relaxes down. Shake the head yes. Hug behind the legs. Make yourself as compact as possible. Let the weight of the head stretch your neck. And release that, coming into half lift monkey pose. Your hands on your shins, flat back, extended spine from tailbone to crown. Back down on the exhale. Half lift, flat back, monkey pose. Back down. 2 more, half lift, flat back, extension of the spine. Back down, flex the spine, round it. Half lift, flat back. We're gonna hold on to this. Breathe into it. Try not to grip those toes if you can avoid it. Let's take the arms out like airplane wings. Remember, one step at a time. Arms are out, knees are bent, chest comes down, head drops down. Arms reach for the ceiling. If it feels good, you can interlace the arm or the fingers, pulling the shoulders open. If not, just keep the arms up. And then as we lift the head and chest, releasing the hands, swing those arms through right into chair position. Taking prayer hands to the heart center, inhaling, and on the exhale, twisting to the right. You can drop the chest down and hook that elbow if you'd like. I'm going to turn so you can see me. You guys stay where you are. Twisting. Inhaling back into chair position. So weight in the heels here. Prayer hands come back down. I'm going to move to the front of the mat and take a twist to the left. Breathing into it. Remember, yoga is fun. Coming into chair position again. Legs straighten as arms come down. Adjust the clothing. Pedal out the knees. And we're going to inhale the arms up. I'm going to turn towards you so you can see me. Half moon position. And thank you, Wayne, for reminding me. We're going to take it to one side. I'm going to go to the right. And then that right hand is going to grab the left wrist to assist the arc here, the half moon. Moon was beautiful last night. Coming to center. Inhaling, taking those prayer hands down just for a break here. Prayer hands back up. Let's take it to the other side. If you want to assist the half moon pose by grabbing that wrist and assisting the arc to the side. Coming back to center. Arms float down. Roll the shoulders out. Nice. Inhaling, the arms up. So looking up, chin comes up, but not this, right? We want to extend the head up and out of the shoulder girdle. And then let's take a forward fold. Knees are bent. Half lift, flat back. Back down. We're going to take that left foot back, dropping the knee down into a low lunge, untucking the toes, lifting the chest up. So remember, you don't want that foot behind the knee. You want the foot extended out enough. So hopefully the knee can be over the ankle or close to that. We're going to take prayer hands, bring them down to the heart center. Deep breath in, twisting towards the front leg or to the right if you're with me on the right and left. Sometimes it gets off, and that's okay. As long as you do both sides, you're good. Coming back to center. This time opening the arms and twisting towards the left or the back leg. Getting a huge stretch in that left hip flexor. Your iliopsoas muscle, that's the main hip flexor. So we're stretching it or we're extending it. Coming back to center, hands float down, hips shift back, toes lift. You don't have to straighten that front leg. If you can straighten it, I'm going to adjust my length here. Rotate that left hip towards the back of the mat. Keep the toes lifted though. Coming forward with the hip, shifting forward, chest stays low. If you want to test your balance, bringing the hands to the back of the hips or onto the sacrum, that flat bone at the base of the spine, head relaxes down. Hands return on either side of the foot, hip shift back. Want more intensity, rotate that left hip back, keeping that right heel steady. Coming forward into low lunge again. Hands down, back toes tuck. Now we're in that high lunge. Left hand is going to plant, and you're going to take it, twist it to the right. Breathe into it, hold on to it, breathe into it. Right hand comes down. Let's take the hips up a little, narrowing the stance. Maybe bring a little bend out of that front knee. Supporting yourself with your hands. You can also always use blocks if you need to. So I'm getting a good stretch in the back of the right leg here. Bring the bend back into the right leg. Step the feet together. We're in a forward fold. Half lift, flat back, monkey pose. Back down. We're going to reverse all the way up. Take it into chair position again. Legs straighten, arms drop. To lift up again, take it back down into the forward fold. Right leg reaches back, dropping the right knee down, untucking the toes, getting yourself aligned, lifting the chest. Prayer hands down to the heart center. Inhale. On the exhale, you're twisting to the left. You can hook that elbow on the outside of the knee, or you can keep it lifted if it's better that way. your pose, your practice. Coming back to center. This time, opening the arms, twisting to the right. Extended, fingertip to fingertip, right through the heart center. Coming back up. Hands drop down on either side of that front foot. Hips shift back as left toes lift. So you can, if you have a straight leg and you want to intensify it, rotating that right hip towards the back of the mat. Left hip comes forward, right hip sinks towards the back. Back to neutral. Hips shift forward, front foot down. Head relaxes inside the leg. Keeping the hands down is fine. If you want to test the balance, hands to the back of the hips. Keep the breath going. Hands return down, take the hips back again. Again, if you want to intensify it, taking that right hip back. Full expression, low lunge, left side. Hands come down, back toes tuck, lift that back knee, stay in the high lunge, hands on either side of the foot, right hand plants, left arm reaches. Keep the breath going. Left hand comes down, push that back foot forward, narrowing the stance front to back. Finding a good stretch in that left leg. If the leg straightens and the head comes to the knee, you can take the toes up to intensify it if you choose. Again, anywhere along the spectrum, right? Bring the bend back into the left knee. Step the feet together into the forward fold. Calf lift, flat back. Back down. Reversing all the way up. Prayer hands come to the heart center and let all that go. Paddle it out. You good? I think you are. Inhaling the arms up, taking a forward fold. We're going to step back into a downward facing dog. Paddling it out here. We're going to take three-legged dog. You're going to take your right leg, reach it back. Neutral hip, so toes are facing the earth. 3 steps here. This is step number 1. Gets too fatiguing for you, just drop into child's pose. Next step, right leg kicks to the ceiling. The hips stack to the right, opening to the right. Next step, bending the right leg. You can flex the foot if that feels good or relax it down. And then if it feels good, left heel down, looking under the right shoulder blade. Sorry, under the right armpit. That would be hard. Looking under the right shoulder blade. Stretch it back up. Right leg to the ceiling. Then bring it back down through neutral. Right leg down, right into the other side. Left leg reaches back. Feel free to go into child's pose if you need to. Neutral hip. Then lifting, hips stack open to the left. Notice I haven't bent my knee yet. Now bend the knee. Opening that left hip, maybe looking under the left armpit. Right heel eventually flat to the mat. Kick it back up. Bring it through neutral. Left foot comes down, hop or walk the feet to the front of the mat, head relaxes down, half lift, flat back. Let's take an inhale, back down on the exhale, reversing all the way up, prayer hands to the heart. And let's take that left leg. I want you to take your left leg and reach it back into a high lunge. So remember, if that's too hard for you, If it feels like too long of a reach, you can take it slow and narrow, and then take it back slowly if you need to. So high lunge here, all 10 toes pointing forward on the back, palm onto the foot. Taking prayer hands to the heart. Inhaling, twisting towards the front leg or to the right. You can always drop the chest down and hook that elbow if you'd like. Breathe into it. Coming back into high lunge. Arms float down. Prayer hands come to the heart. And we're going to push off that back foot to front. Pedal out 1 or 2 times, right into the other side. Right leg reaches back. This is not easy. Finding your high lunge on the left side. Taking the arms up. So chest lifted. Prayer hands down to the heart center. So we did this once with the back knee down in low lunge. You can always drop that knee if it's too much for you. Rotating to the left. Hips staying constant. Neutral hips. Coming back to center. Arms float down. Pressing off the back foot. Prayer hands to the heart, pedal out, and let all that go. Let's take a quarter turn, wide open stance. We'll do some warriors. So a lot of the same poses I do repetitively week after week. I try and throw in some different poses, but we practice a lot of the same things so we can kind of see where we are, right? We gauge. That's our way of gauging how we evolve on the mat. So wide angle stance, toes pointing towards the long end of the mat, maybe slightly pigeon-toed if you have the hip flexibility. Take those right toes, turn them towards the short end of the mat. Now you'll notice my shoulders turned. I actually want to keep my shoulders facing the long end of the mat. Opening the arms, extending the arms. One line of energy right through the heart center. Let's flip those palms up, opening up the chest and the shoulders. Keep the shoulders there. Bring the palms back down to the earth. And bend into warrior 2. So remember, you want that knee over the ankle. You never want the knee beyond the ankle. Front heel dissects back arch. If there's a line drawn, back foot, outside edge, exactly parallel to the short end, maybe slightly pigeon-toed. Drishti or focus goes over the front third finger. Remember, we don't want this. Root to crown, up and down. Let's take a reversal. Left hand drops onto the leg or behind you. Right arm reaches. If you want to take an arc here, you can. Back into warrior 2. Extended side angle. Right forearm down, left arm reaches. One line of energy here on the left side of the body. More intensity, just let that arm relax inside the leg. Front knee always tracking over that foot, over the same foot, right foot. Back into warrior 2. No letting that knee cave into the side, that's not good. Reverse. Warrior 2. Extended side angle. Warrior 2. Hold on to it. Arms drop, legs straighten, toes rotate. If you need to bring your feet together for a break, you can. Otherwise, let's take it right into the other side, checking the alignment. Inhaling the arms up and out. Bending into the left leg, left knee tracking over that left foot. Drishti or focus over the front fingers. Take the reversal. Back into warrior two. Extended side angle. One angle on the right side of the body. Back into warrior two. Reverse. Back into warrior two. Arms drop, legs straighten, toes rotate. Let's walk the feet together. Bring the hip musculature back to neutral. Pedal it out. Right into the wide angle stance again. We'll go into Prasarita Padottanasana, which is going to bring that upper body, bring your upper body down, right? So inhaling the arms up and out. Let's take it into prayer hands. Look up high. Inhale. And on the exhale, hands to the hips. Coming into an extended back here, monkey pose with wide open legs. And then bringing the hands down. You can always have blocks here if you need to. And then letting the upper body come wherever it needs to come. Stretching, trying to keep that flat back if you can. If you want to intensify it, you can grab the outside edges of the heels or feet and aim that hairline for the line between the toes, flat back, and active arms here. Weight into the toes, or the ball mounds. But again, having the hands down and finding the stretch is fine. Half lift, flat back. Coming all the way up, walking the feet together again, and pedaling it up. So we're going to go into a triangle pose. If you need a block behind you for triangle, feel free. Wide open stance, but not probably as far as warrior two. Right toes are going to turn. Inhaling the arms up and out. Right, open the chest. And on triangle, we're going to take that torso shift that we don't take in warrior two. So we're going to shift and look towards that right hand. Let's come back and do that again. Shift, inhaling, reaching, and then taking the rotation of the arms so that hand can come on the thigh, onto the calf, or onto a block, or maybe just grazing the mat. Notice my hips didn't shift back. You're almost between, you want to be almost imaging between two panes of glass. Holding on to it. On an inhale, rotating the shoulders back, centering the torso, arms drop, bending that right knee to push off and straighten, turning the toes, breath in center, left toes turn, inhaling the arms up and out, and exhale. We'll do one torso shift on an inhale, so you get the idea. Inhale, torso shift, reach and look. Coming back. Again, inhale, reach, look, rotate, finding your hand position. Can stay up here, you're still getting the benefits. And then eventually, my right shoulder's a little funky today, keeping your body in between two imaginary panes of glass. If you can look up towards that hand, feel free. My neck doesn't like that very much, so I'm going to stay neutral. On an inhale, lifting, looking, centering the torso, arms drop. Bend that left knee to turn it. Walk the feet together, pedal it out, coming to the front of the mat. And wow, time does fly when you're having fun. Inhaling the arms up, prayer hands to the heart. Let's take that left foot back into a warrior one stance. 45 on the back foot. Feet are in their own lanes. Don't bring it back onto the balance beam. Left foot 45, front foot parallel to the long end of the mat. Lifting into warrior one. I want you guys to stay where you are. I'm going to turn. So we're going to take arms down, pushing off that back foot, finding balance here and taking it right into tree pose. Remember, you can kickstand tree pose, calf, inner thigh, if you choose, or a half lotus position. Wherever you are is where you're supposed to be. Taking prayer hands to the heart center, steady gaze, keeps the balancing intact. Growing branches if you choose. You want to go further, prayer hands, interlaced fingers, index fingers extended, and then taking the gaze up. Eyes back down, prayer hands to the heart, and trees release. Paddle it out. So you're back at the front of the mat. This time right foot's going to step back into warrior one. Remember, we want to keep the hips neutral, so we take that leg back. We want to open that hip up, or our inclination is to open it up, but we want to keep it neutral, which is why it has to be 45 on that back foot. If you turn it to 90, you're not going to be able to have a neutral hip here. So, warrior one. Arms float down. Now I'm going to turn again. Arms float down. Push off the back foot. Finding balance. Taking tree position. Some days are kind of windy, so if you have to keep putting that foot down, that's fine. Finding the foot position for your practice. Steady gaze, prayer hands to the heart. Next step, growing branches. Still steady, feel free to take it further if you'd like. Lifting the gaze. Prayer hands back down. Trees release, paddle it out. Nice, we're gonna come towards the front of the mat. We're gonna take another three-legged dog and then into pigeon pose. Feel free to adapt the pigeon pose. You can do a reclined pigeon if regular pigeon does not work for you. Inhaling up, taking the forward fold, stepping it back into downward facing dog. You can go right into pigeon or join me in three-legged dog. Right leg reaches back. Again, stacking, lifting the legs, stacking the hips, opening to the right, bending that right leg. Kick that leg up. Now we're going to lower the hips, bringing the knee towards the chest. Right foot goes to the left side of the mat, right knee down towards that right wrist. Drop the back knee. And then you know where you're going if you've done pigeon. If you haven't done pigeon, then I'd suggest going into child's pose and letting me know. Hello, Marley. Yes, I know you're very needy right now. Certain poses she just loves. Now you can keep your chest up here, or you can bring your head down, creating a little pillow with the forearms. We're going to hang on to this pose. You breathe into it, don't look around. Feeling a really intense right hip stretch. While you guys are sinking in, I'm going to show you how you would do reclined pigeon. You would turn over, bend the knees, figure four, taking that left knee up to the chest. So you're going to get that same stretch, and you can take that leg up if you choose. I like to leave my leg down. You can get that same stretch, but not as intense. So yoga is all about modifying as needed. If your body doesn't really like what that pose feels like, or it causes you pain, find the modification that works for you. If you have any questions, feel free to email me or contact me via Facebook, and I'll be happy to answer questions for you. So you're still breathing into that pigeon pose. Now, we're going to do something a little trickier here. Take that right forearm down alongside the mat, roll onto the right hip, take that left leg and swing it around into a twist here, a seated twist. If your right leg doesn't want to bend like that, you can always take the right leg out and you're seated with the foot on the outside of the knee. If you can stay in that bent knee pose, then feel free to do that, okay? So we're gonna take a twist and we're gonna twist towards the front leg or the left side, grabbing the side of the leg here and twisting, looking behind us. So deep rotational stretch here. Breathing into it. I could feel my breath was very shallow. No need for that, right? So on the inhale, we lift. On the exhale, we twist another inch maybe, right? Maybe not even a centimeter. Bring the body back. Right forearm goes back down. Left leg kicks around back into pigeon pose. Chest stays lifted. One breath. Tuck those toes under. Lift the hips up. Right leg goes back. Coming into downward dog. Left leg reaches back. Kick and stack. Bend the leg in three-legged dog. You can just go right into pigeon if you'd like to. Extend that leg up. Knee comes through. Finding pigeon on the other side. Feel free to do the recline version if you choose. So starting with the chest lifted, and then if you'd like to bring the body down. Breathing into it. Stretching that left, what is it? Piriformis muscle. I'm going to be doing some muscle therapy videos that'll help you understand the basics of some of these muscles that I talk about in class. What poses might be good for it and how they work, so you can help yourself if you have tightness in any of those areas. I'll keep you posted. So now we're going to lift the chest up. Left forearm's going to go to the side. We roll onto that left hip. Right leg circles around, crossing it over the knee. And then taking a twist to the right. Inhale, lift. Exhale, twist another centimeter. Left forearm goes down as right leg swings back into pigeon pose for one breath. And then we're going to tuck those right toes under, lift the hips up, coming into a downward facing dog just for a stretch here. Drop the knees down. Take that right arm, open it up to the right, twisting, and then taking the right arm underneath the left armpit, rotating. Let that right arm relax down, side of the right head on the mat. You can take that left arm and drape it behind you and bind if you'd like. Another rotational stretch here at the end. Nice. Left palm comes down into tabletop. Excuse me. Left arm reaches up to the other side. Left arm under right armpit. Right arm position of your choice. You can relax that right arm down or drape it behind you. Right arm down. Coming into tabletop, we're going to switch positions here. Having a seat on the mat. Bent knees, feet on the mat. Hips about in the middle of the mat. And take a slow ride down with the upper body. Hands alongside the body, palms down on the mat. We're going to go into a bridge position, Get a little inversion here before we go into Shavasana. If you'd like to take another type of inversion here, feel free. Hands down, feet about hip width apart, about 1.5 to 2 of your own feet lengthwise away from the sits bones, and slowly peel up the hips. Shoulders and head are down. Intensifying it means interlacing fingers, tucking those shoulders under so you can totally see that bridge position. Don't let your chin do what mine just did. Keep it up towards the ceiling. Neutral spine here in the cervical area. One more breath. Remember, any inversion, come down slowly, especially if you're in a handstand or a headstand or a shoulder stand. Let the body come down. Readjust the shoulders, legs out on the mat. Nice. One more pose, bringing the knees up to the chest, rocking side to side. Let's take the arms out. Inhale. And on the exhale, take those stacked knees and roll them to the right. Let something hit the ground here. If you need a bolster or block under the knees, you want to relax into these final stretches. If it feels good, turning your head to the left, any pain in the neck, please bring it back to neutral. Deep breath. Nice. Back to center. Hug it in. Arms come out. Take the knees to the opposite side. Exhaling into that initial twist. Taking the head, looking to the right. That completes the spinal rotation. And again, pain in the neck. Come back to center, please. Head comes back to neutral. Bring those knees up. Extend the feet to the ceiling. Open the stance. Happy baby. Last movement. Last pose of movement in the series before we go into Shavasana. Rock it side to side. Should feel pretty good. Knees come back. Feet go down. And you know where we're going, the most important pose of all. I went a few minutes over. I hope you're not going to rob yourself of this pose that brings everything together. This is where the magic happens. This is where your body's wisdom takes over. Let the toes fall out. Heels on the mat. Palms are up. And you are relaxing. You please stay in this position. I will let you know when it's time to come out. I'm going to go start a little bit of music here. So please enjoy your Shavasana. Deep breaths, nothing to do but breathe and enjoy the stillness. All right. Thank you, Elliot. That chime is an invitation to bring yourself back slowly. Sorry for the laughter there. I seem to have misplaced my other chime. I don't know how that happened, but slowly bringing yourself back. Remember, you don't want to bolt out of Shavasana. You want to be able to come out gently and slowly, rolling to the right, taking a couple of breaths there. And as you come up to a comfortable seated position, my quote today is from Dr. Jane Goodall. You cannot get through a single day without having an impact on the world around you. What you do makes a difference, and you have to decide what kind of difference you want to make. So that is Jane Goodall. Taking a deep breath in, prayer hands to the heart, and on the exhale, bowing down, honoring your own practice this morning, sealing in anything learned, anything gained. The divine light and love in me bows to and honors the divine light and love in all of you always. May love guide your way. Namaste.